Hey guys, welcome to Practically Famous. I'm Brad, your host.
And I'm Jake, your co-host.
In this episode, we're going to talk about our most recent weekend out and talk about some of the important lessons that we've learned and just address why we do this. Why are we so obsessed with game and going out and talking to people and socializing? What is it that really drives us to do this? Because it's something that we've both felt. We've kind of talked about this. You said it really funny the other day. You were kind of like, I'll be damned if I don't get the experiences that I want to have in life, if I don't get the experiences with the friends I want, the girls I want, the lifestyle that I want. And I love the way you said that because it really resonated with me personally because I feel the exact same way.
I'm really glad that resonated with you because I felt very powerful when I said it too. There's no way that I'm going to let my life just go by and not actually try and achieve these things that I know I can achieve.
Yeah, if you can achieve them, why not? Like so many guys they'll settle for whatever. Oh, I don't want to put in that work. I don't want to put in that effort, or that's lame, or that's fake, or whatever like kind of moral judgment they put on it to make their own life feel better. And look, it's fine. Like everyone can choose to live their life however they want, obviously. But for me, I can't live my life playing video games every night and calling it a day.
Right. And that gets back to, I think you said, the moral complex that some people have of going out and talking to girls at clubs like is vain, right? But, kind of like we talked about on the last episode, this isn't about the girls. This is about going out and doing what it takes to let go of all that stuff, all that resistance inside that prevents me from showing up exactly who I am. So it doesn't really matter that I'm going to the club or wherever I'm going. It's about the process of becoming the most free version of myself.
100%. This is essentially, it's a meditation.
It's a meditation. Yeah, it really is. And you can argue life is a meditation too.
You could. Absolutely. You could argue life is a meditation. And what is meditation really about? It's about becoming present. And you're right. Letting go of all these things inside of you you're resisting or that you're afraid of, to actually face them, to actually look at them. I really don't know of anything else in the world that can give you this level of self-reflection where I really have to look so deeply at all my insecurities.
I was going to say, because dating as a whole is so tied into how we view ourselves and how we view the value that we bring, that it really tests your insecurities, your self-image, and how you feel about yourself and the traumas that you carry with yourself. And then you are forced to look at all of that through this process.
Maybe a path of entrepreneurship and really trying to get rich will kind of make you face a lot of your insecurities and your past traumas. And again, it's kind of like, it's not about the girls, right? With the business thing, it's not about the money. In both scenarios, it would be about something different. So with entrepreneurship, especially like building an online business, even us just doing this podcast, I've already noticed just posting it is an act of vulnerability.
Absolutely.
Posting the little clips that I clip of myself, like posting it to my own Instagram page, I hesitate before I post those. And I feel my heartbeat a little harder. Like, do I really want to put my shit on blast like this for the whole entire world to see? But I actually love it because every time right before I do, I just have this moment, and it's kind of funny, but I really enjoy it, where I'm like, fuck it, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I just like go for it, right? Just jumping in the deep end. And when I go out, a lot of times that's what I need to do to get going, is I just need to, like, as soon as I get there, just jump in the deep and just start talking to people so I can get warmed up, get into state, and then continue writing that throughout the night.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah, it's about getting out of your head and just start talking, get that energy flowing outward instead of going inward.
The whole point of what we do is that we basically use game as a vehicle for inner healing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always say a vehicle for personal transformation.
Because if you can feel so confident in yourself to go out and get whatever result it is that you're looking for just through yourself. I want to go out and I want to date a beautiful woman. So all I have to do is walk outside the house, go find one, talk to her, and I got it. Or I want to start making connections with really high profile people in my community. I can just walk outside the house and I can find those people and I can do it.
And you can talk to them.
All you have to do is just talk. But you have to see yourself as someone who belongs in those scenarios. And that's where the inner part comes in.
Right. There's a very heavy aspect of having the internal world align to what your goals are. Because you could say that you want to date a beautiful woman or that you want to make connections with a bunch of really cool people. But if deep down you don't feel that that's true, you will self-sabotage. There will be something that prevents you from moving forward. So a lot of this process for us has been taking a step in that direction. And when you take a step in that direction, all of that internal stuff arises. It actually gives you the opportunity to deal with that, but only after you've taken a step in that direction. I always say you take a step into tension, and that's what reveals to you what it is that you need to work on and to let go of.
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking of it the same way. I wasn't calling it tension. I was being a little more dramatic about it, but I was saying like facing your demons, right?
Yeah.
So what I've noticed is that wherever I see like the tension that you're talking about, or where I see my demons, that's where I need to go. That's where I'm going to face the most growth, because if I can face my demons and overcome them, not just overcome them, I'm trying to build a better mindset around that. It's not so much about overcoming them. It's so much about like making peace with them. Integrating. Yeah. So I see, okay, this is where I'm feeling deeply secure right now. Let me go make peace with this demon and integrate it into myself so that it's just a part of me. And I'm okay with that. And I accept this part of me. Maybe this insecurity doesn't actually truly go away, right? We'll always kind of wonder, am I good enough? Am I doing enough, right? I don't think you can ever really fully get rid of that personally. At least I haven't experienced it. But you can quiet it and you can make peace with it and be like, oh, there's that feeling again. That feeling of, am I good enough? And when you can learn to be comfortable with all of yourself, I feel like that's really powerful, because then you can go out and you can express yourself with a wider range of emotions.
Yeah, you're not afraid to be seen.
Yeah, you're like a whole person. Because in a lot of ways, I was talking to a girl the other night, and we had this like funny moment where we realized nobody becomes friends based on what you're good at. People become friends based on you did something wrong together. Like, people bond on their flaws.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
So it's like, hey, remember back in, if you have an old high school friend and you used to get into like shenanigans with them, it's like, remember that time we did this and we got in trouble with the police or whatever? You're bonded for life now.
Yeah. I have that story too,
Yeah, right? So, but no one has the story like, hey, remember back in high school when we studied hard for that test together and we passed it, now we're friends for life? No one ever does that shit, right?
Yeah, no one cares.
To really make peace with your flaws and your demons and all these things, that's actually how you're going to connect with people. Yeah. So stop fighting them. Stop trying to avoid that shit and start running towards it. And you'll realize that it's not as bad as you think.
It's really not. And it's not as bad as you think. And the reward is more than you can ever imagine. And going back to what you said too about when you're at peace with yourself, I feel that when you're at peace with yourself, you're no longer trying to take from people. You're a giver. And so you become friends with people because of your mutual exchange of positive energy, versus when you don't feel that you're good enough, you're trying to take from everyone. And everyone can feel that too. And then I think it's like a negative spiral, and there's also a positive spiral, right? The negative is when you're trying to take and everyone can feel that and everyone is resistive. And the positive spiral is when you're giving and everyone can feel that. Everyone wants to give back to you too.
That is a really great way of thinking about it, because you're right. When people feel good around you, they want to reciprocate.
And they just want to join in the fun. I mean, you and I have had many of experiences where we are genuinely in our element, having fun, having an experience that is truly enriching to ourselves and to our souls. And people around us can feel that, and they want to be part of the party.
Yeah, they want to join in.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to feel good, feel better, have a good time, have fun. Life is hard.
Life is tough, yeah.
And, people, they go out, whether it's to a bar, to a club, to a festival, to any kind of social event. They're obviously not there to make their lives any harder. So if you're walking around making their life harder by like, hey, please validate me. Yeah. I need you, yeah. Right? They're not going to want to be a part of that.
No.
But they see other people, oh my God, like me and you, they see like, look at those two guys. They look like they're having so much fun. They look so cool. They look like they're not going to be taking value from people. They're talking to everyone. They're joking with people. Everyone's laughing around them. And you can probably just see it like on a like kind of energetic level, like just see like, kind of an aura, like that area over there by those guys looks like fun.
Exactly.
And I want to be in, I think we experience this all the time. It's like, we won't move. We'll just be standing there. But then like 5 minutes later, we'll be surrounded by people.
Yeah.
People who are, even if they're not necessarily approaching us directly, they're putting themselves in our vicinity because they want to They want a piece of that. They want a piece of that positive energy. And then we can just freely give it to them. Like, hey guys, what's up?
Every single time that we have that experience, I'm just amazed. It's truly, there's a gravity that exists between humans, between everything that is very palpable. But at the same time, it's like, how can you describe it? It's almost indescribable.
And you're right. There's a palpable energy. Like you can feel it. You can sense it.
The right people, a right person walks into the room on the other side of like far away, you can still feel it, right? It is very palpable, especially when you start to, like we've talked about, we start to let go of all the internal stuff that's happening and you become more present and perceptive. Not only does your own energy become stronger, but you can feel other people's energy much greater as well.
100%. And one way I definitely notice this is with celebrities.
Yeah.
So if I'm around a celebrity, which, I haven't been around tons of celebrities, but I have been fortunate enough to be in certain situations where I have had a much closer access to them. And whoa.
It's wild.
You feel it.
It's wild.
You feel their energy. It's crazy. And again, like kind of bringing back to what we were talking about earlier, some people will be like, oh, celebrities, like they're not this, they're not that, whatever. But you get around one and you're like, you feel it. You're like, oh my God, like this person has an energy. They have a magnetic pull about them, a way that they carry themselves that is truly magnetic. And that is something that we are developing within ourselves.
And now that we're talking about it, I feel like that energy is what makes somebody become famous, right? It's the energy first, not the fame first. It's the energy first that propels them into fame.
100%. If you just put a bunch of attention on someone who doesn't have that energy, one, they're not going to be able to maintain the attention.
Yeah.
And two, they'll probably crumble underneath it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you. I know that you and I we've had the energy and then we attracted things to us and then we fumbled it. But that's okay.
Yeah, we do. We do that a lot. Let's
that's okay.
be honest.
Yeah, but that's okay because every time, we learn something and then we go a little bit farther next time. And I think that the more time that we're in that energy, the more that our nervous systems are able to hold it. So I think part of the reason that we fumble it is because fundamentally our nervous systems aren't strong enough yet to hold the energy and the tension that we attract because of that energy. And so it's going to be a process of learning to strengthen our nervous system to increase our capacity for being famous.
That was really deep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it now. Times when, it's like we're getting the beginning part of it. We get the attention. Maybe girls start coming towards us. Maybe cool guys. Like, we're in Scottsdale. We're surrounded by a lot of DJs out here. Everyone here is a DJ. Yeah. And so if you can make friends with DJs, it's like a cool thing. So we'll have DJs hanging out with us. We'll have girls hanging out with us. And then like 20, 30 minutes later, the girls aren't really hanging out with us anymore or whatever. But it's like, so we learn how to get the attention. Then we have to learn how to do the next 10 minutes. And then we have to learn how to do the next 10 minutes and the next 10 minutes and the next 10 minutes.
Exactly.
And each time, like you said, it trains your nervous system that, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. Exactly. Because so much of what we do is unconscious. Was it 90 to 95%?
We fact checked it.
Not communication.
Okay.
Subconscious, your behaviors. 90 to 95% of all human behavior is subconscious, meaning you don't realize you're doing it. It's just your brain kind of on autopilot, which is kind of scary.
Kind of terrifying,
Kind of terrifying when you think about it, but also liberating if you look at it from the sense of, well, if I can reprogram my subconscious to just do this shit automatically,
I'll be on fire.
Yeah, I'm on fire. So now you said we've gotten to a point, some things are just not really hard for us anymore.
That was my experience this weekend. Things that used to be so hard were just not that hard anymore because I showed myself that I could do it and I reprogrammed my own belief systems about who I am.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, of course I can go out in Scottsdale, meet some cool girls and hang out for a night and go to some tables and have a good time and show them a good time,
Yeah, it's just like expected.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or walking up behind a DJ booth, right?
Oh my God.
That is one of the wildest phenomenons to me, is this whole thing. Like, the more often we do that, the more often we just can just walk right past security up to the DJ booth. It's the weirdest thing to me. I've never really experienced something that strange before.
Yeah.
But it really has become a thing where we can just basically walk up to the DJ booth now because our nervous system is tells even the security guards yeah, we belong here, bro. You
hit on a really, really good point there. And we talked about it a little bit last time, but other people feel how you feel. So if you believe, and I want to be specific about how I say this, right? It's not just believing, but if your nervous system is aligned with the fact that you belong behind the DJ booth, other people are going to sense that from you, and they're going to be like, these guys belong here. Of course they do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens like with celebrity energy, right? Their nervous system is aligned with the fact that they're a celebrity. And so everyone around them is like, oh, fuck, this guy's a fucking celebrity.
Yeah. Your subconscious, here's like the way I see it. Your subconscious is communicating with other people's subconscious. So you are communicating with other people without even realizing it, even if you're not opening your mouth.
Yes.
So if you're trying to talk to girls and you're just even too nervous to say anything, so you're not saying anything, that's still saying something.
It's still saying a lot, yeah, because they
Right?
can feel how tense you are. I think a lot in the dating space, it's like, don't be up in your head, right? They can literally feel when you're up in your head. I was out last night, and it was a wild experience for me because I'm so much more relaxed. My nervous system is so much stronger that every single group of girls that I walked up to, I know I felt super comfortable, and they also felt super comfortable, and they were like, yeah, like we want to hang out with you for like the night. And we did.
And so how long did it kind of take you to get to that level? And what do you think really helped you to achieve that kind of comfort?
It took me about 6 months, probably 3 to 4 of those months. I was going out 4 nights a week.
4 nights a week for about 6 months to get really comfortable, to just walk up to a group of girls and have them want you to stay.
Yeah, have them want me to be like, show us where to go. We want to go with you.
Okay, so to stay and to lead them. They're like, hey, this is our guy for the night. Like, we're going to follow him around, and whatever he says, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's leading to a very good place for you.
Yeah. So 3 to 4 nights, 3 to 4 months, 4 nights a week. 2 of those 4 nights were I'd go out by myself. That was a very difficult 3 to 4 months. But I felt so aligned that this is something that, like, this is so untapped, right? Who else is really thinking about the process it takes to become a really charismatic person in this way, right? To really think about how much our nervous system affects everybody around you, even when you're in a club, especially when you're in a club, actually. Yeah. And I think 2 major things were really helpful for me. In my mind, I can do that because I've strengthened my nervous system by learning to connect with my body, learning to let go of the stuff that comes up, and stepping into tension. It's like my 3 pillars that I conceptually think about when I think about strengthening my nervous system: embodiment, releasing, and tension.
This whole nervous system talk, it's even still kind of a new concept for me that I've only been thinking about over the last month, but it's already made a profound impact on me. What does it mean to train your nervous system?
So in my mind, we talked about how communication is mostly nonverbal.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of energy going on. And so when you want to actually communicate to somebody that you're cool, that you're confident, you have to literally feel cool and confident in your body, right? How you feel in your body is a reflection of the strength of your nervous system. So if I walk up to a girl and I'm really on the inside, tense and anxious, like most people are, and it's okay, she's going to feel that, right? And so to strengthen my nervous system would be to give myself, through practices, give myself the ability to calm down even as I step into tension, right? So stepping into tension, an example of stepping into tension would be to just walk up to a girl and say hi. And so if I have a weak nervous system, I would walk into that situation and my whole nervous system would be tight, would be anxious, would be like freaking out. As I strengthen my nervous system, I'm able to bring more conscious awareness to my body and actually relax it so that I can walk into that situation and I'm not so tight on the inside. And it makes a world of difference, especially for her. Women are incredibly perceptive, and she's going to feel where you are energetically. So a strong nervous system will come in a lot more relaxed. And I believe that that is an attractive trait for a guy to have because that's representative of your ability to really defend her, find food, find resources. You know, you couldn't do that if you didn't have the nervous system to support going out and fighting animals. You have to be able to calm and to ground your nervous system, your body. And then while you're in that calm state, actually step forward in attention and execute.
Yeah, you really hit it on the head there. Calmness is a major attribute that women are attracted to in men. They are very attracted to very calm men. I've always thought of calmness as a trait of dominance.
Yeah.
People think of dominance as like, oh, I'm gonna like force my will upon you. Like, I'm gonna like try so hard to make you do what I want to do. It's like, that's not dominance. Dominance is easy. You don't have to try. You're just in control.
It's assumed almost.
Exactly. Like you walk into a room, people are like, okay.
Yeah, I can't mess with people. Yeah.
But if you have to walk into a room and say, listen to me, do what I do, you're not dominant.
No, you're not.
No, you're a bitch, like it's the guy who's not trying so hard, the guy who's effortless. That's actually the dominant guy. That's the guy that girls want to be with.
Yeah. And how do you get there?
So effortlessness. So I love this framework of mastery. We can definitely tie this into the whole nervous system concept too. So if you want to become amazing at something, you want to become dominant at whatever chosen field or skill, you start at this level. There's 4 levels. You start at what is called unconscious incompetence. You don't even know what you're doing wrong, essentially. So you start going out talking to girls. You walk up to a girl, say hi. She's like, oh my God, what the fuck? She's trying to get away. You're like, what am I doing wrong?
What happened?
What am I doing wrong? I don't get it. Wow, women are mean. Poor me, right?
Yep.
So then you go to the next stage, which is conscious incompetence, where you know what you're doing wrong. So you're like, okay, I'm still not doing it right, but at least I know what I'm not doing right.
Right.
And so if it's like your nervous system, the unconscious incompetence is just your nervous system just like freaking out. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm scared.
Right. And you don't know that is actually affecting everybody around you.
Yeah. So then you get to the next level, your nervous system calms down a little bit.
Yeah. And you're still nervous. Yeah.
But you're still really nervous because you know you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to walk up to this girl and she's going to reject me. And I know it's because I'm doing something wrong, but I got to just keep doing this,
nervous,
I guess. Yeah. Like, whatever. But then you start getting into the next phase, which is conscious competence.
Exactly.
So you start doing it right, but you have to try really hard to do it right. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at a lot of the times, right? And we bounce back and forth because every time we try to reach a new level, you kind of go back to the conscious incompetence.
Yep.
But for where we are now, for what we've been experiencing the last couple of weeks, I would say we're kind of in that conscious competence. Like we're doing well, but we have to try to do it well.
Exactly.
Right? Like, okay, what should we do next? Which bar should we take them to next?
Which leadership style?
Yeah. Who's going to lead them? All right. You take care of this. I'll take care of that.
Which is good because that you have to do that to go through these to get to the unconscious competence stage.
Yeah. So then the final stage, like you mentioned, unconscious competence. You don't even know that you're just doing it right. And these are the people that everyone loves to look at these people and say like, I could never be like that. Like a pro athlete who can just shoot a 3-pointer like without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I shoot threes all day. It's no big deal because he's shot 1 million 3-pointers in his life. And the same thing goes with social skills, right? Like we go out all the time. You're having the same conversation every night.
Every time. Yeah.
Over and over and over. You're just having the same conversation. But over time, that same conversation somehow becomes more lively, becomes more fun, more flirty. Why? Because you're calm.
You're relaxing, yeah.
Because you don't even realize now, you're like, yeah, I've done this 1 million times. Like, I got this, right? Like, so when you're there, you can have more fun with it, right? So reality starts to slow down for you.
Exactly.
When you start to get to that point.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Nervous system, right? Your nervous system's not firing. So like, oh my God, what's going on? Am I okay? Am I going to get rejected?
Yeah.
Am I going to be embarrassed? Am I going to be judged? Right? Your nervous system is so calm that when a girl says something to you, it's like almost like she's saying it in slow motion, and you can joke about it. You can flirt with her. You can tease her, but you can't do that at the beginning because you're just so like, what do I do? What do I do?
Not only that, but like the smooth response comes out of your mouth before you even process.
You don't even try,
what
right?
you're saying. Yeah.
Unconscious competence, right?
Yeah.
So you can get there. You have to train your body or train your nervous system to get to effortlessness.
Yeah. In my opinion, if any guy wants to improve their dating game, it's all about your nervous system. It's all about, I'm a huge fan of going up and talking to girls and saying something mundane and just seeing where the vibe takes us versus trying to say something over the top, because it's really not about that. I know now that I've strengthened my nervous system, I know that I bring good energy. And so these girls, they have a bad reaction. It's not because I had bad energy. It's because they had bad energy, right?
Yeah.
And the ones that have good energy, that's when going out really started to become fun, because I could just go up, say, hey, what's up? How you guys doing? And then like, if they had good energy, then it would just start back and forth having fun. And so going out has really changed for me because it's genuinely fun now. I genuinely have a good time and have a blast and love flirting and love just bringing positive energy to the interactions.
And that's a tipping point where your skill will start to increase very rapidly.
Exactly.
Because you're no longer forcing yourself. You're waking up like, I can't wait to go out tonight.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is it? Is it time to go out? Yeah. Can we go out a little earlier?
Yeah.
You know, can we stay out a little later? Right.
Yeah.
Because you're actually enjoying the process now.
No,
but those first 6 months, they suck.
Don't get it twisted. You need to work in the beginning. You need to work because you need to flush out whatever is going on in your nervous system. You need to flush out both your nervous system itself and then the story you have about yourself. Mm-hmm. So you can be relaxed, but if you truly fundamentally believe that you're broken, that was me, that's going to hold you back. You need to strengthen your nervous system and then clean up your internal beliefs too.
That's the running towards your demons, like I say.
Exactly.
Run towards your demons. Those first 6 months, they are going to suck.
Right. And that's where I say I heavily suggest systematize it. So if you can't go up and have a full-blown conversation with a group of 5 girls, then start with something, right? What can you do? Can you walk up to anybody and just say, hey, how's your night going? And then walk away.
Yeah.
And I had to do this. I had to really break it down into small, manageable steps and then just repeat them until my nervous system relaxed. And then I would step into more tension, then repeat that. If all you can do is show up to the bar, sit down at the bar and get a drink and you feel anxious, do that. Keep doing that until you don't feel anxious. Next time, when you stop feeling so anxious, show up to the bar, get your drink, say hi to one person. Then that's it. Because if you go in too hard, too fast, you'll grind to a halt because your nervous system isn't ready for the tension. So stretch your nervous system, but do it systematically.
Yeah, you will get a real sense of burnout if you go way too hard. Like we went out the last 3 nights. We were out till 2 a.m. every single night. Even a few months ago, that would have just been too much for me.
Yeah.
Because of just where I was at with my whole recovering from all my crazy change. But I used to do that a lot. You know, I used to go to Vegas and stay out till 2 a.m. every single night for like 7 days in a row just to do this stuff.
I don't know if I'll ever do that.
We gotta do that sometime, man. That's a fun experience.
I guess though, like I say that, but now that I do truly enjoy going out, maybe it wouldn't be that bad at all. No,
I'm saying it gets easier and easier and easier and easier. And I cannot emphasize enough too, because we'll talk about like, yeah, just do this and, you know, let your nervous system come up and like, you know, let it go. And we just say it, like we just say the words about it, but it's not easy. It's so hard. You're like pretty much guaranteed you're going to have to do a lot of crying.
Yeah.
Right?
How many times have I cried at like a music festival? I think like my first 5 or 6 music festivals, I was bawling at some point.
That's funny because I don't think I've ever actually cried at a music festival.
That's like my specialty, actually.
Yeah, that's what you're good at, huh? That's so funny. I guess it just brings things up for you.
No, exactly. The music festivals, they really do. They do bring up something for me, and they have. So
yeah, bars and clubs are like going to the gym, but the music festival is like going to the Super Bowl. The music festival always gives you exactly what you need. And I don't know how to explain why it's such a spiritual experience, because there's so many festivals that I've been to that have just been so much fun, so magical. Everything's wonderful. All the people are wonderful. We're all one and we're here for the music and we're together. And then there's been festivals that I've gone to that have been like the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
And
talk about facing your demons.
Yeah, facing my demons. And you look back at all of them and you just realize for each one, you just realize like, wow, that was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Even the shitty ones, even the hard ones, you just realize, wow, the festival always gives you exactly what it is, wherever you're at in life. It gives you exactly what you need. So you've been putting in the work, you've been happy, and you're enjoying your life. The festival might reward you with a fantastic day. But if you've been ignoring a part of you or a piece of you that really needs to come out, the music festival will remind you, hey, this is here and you need to face it. I mean, in general, I usually have fun at music festivals, but even in the ones I have a great time at, there might be a hard moment or two.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
Even the best festivals, there's still something to learn.
Yeah. So I have this thing that's very recurring. It happens a lot. So it happens at festivals. It happens when I go out at night, and it just happens in my day-to-day life where I'm a bit of a slow starter. And that's usually like my toughest times. Like when I go out at night, the beginning is the toughest time. When I go to the music festival, the first hour or two might be my toughest hours. The first hour or two of my day might be the toughest part of my day. So that is a lesson that keeps repeating itself in my life. So it's something I need to address, something I need to learn how to overcome. Like, how do I get past this slow start mentality that I've kind of had? And it's probably just something that's baked into my nervous system, right?
I agree.
And so I need to work on that systematically. Say, for example, if I was going to go out tonight by myself because I wanted to work on my game, I'd probably get more out of saying, I'm going to walk into the bar and I'm going to talk to someone within 30 seconds of walking in. And then I'm going to talk to someone else within 30 seconds of them. And I'm going to talk to like 5 people in the first 20 minutes and go home than I would out of staying out for 3 hours, where the first hour I'm not doing anything. And then the next hours I'm doing more. Because that first one, I'm actually attacking my issue.
Your
specifically,
weak point, yeah.
my weak point. That's definitely something that I plan to work on more over the coming weeks. I really want to get this shit handled because it really annoys me. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great plan.
Yeah, it's really important. Another thing is I need to get more comfortable going out alone. Me and you, we go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but I could go out Tuesdays and Wednesdays just for an hour or something and just practice that first part.
And honestly, going out alone is challenging, but I do contribute that to being some of the time when I made my greatest growth. And I think that I grew a lot then, but I didn't really, reap the rewards until now. Until now when I go out, when I feel good, I feel my nervous system feels strong and I feel relaxed and I feel able to express myself in the way that I want to. But it's taken me 3 to 4 months, and then it takes some time for that to integrate into your nervous system as well.
Yeah, I need to train my nervous system to be comfortable alone, because my nervous system feels more comfortable even if I'm at an area of the bar or the festival alone. If I have a friend there that I know I can return to, like if things don't go well, I feel more comfortable. I feel more confident.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yep.
But if I'm there alone and there's nowhere to turn if things go south, that my nervous system is not as accustomed to. So it is something that I need to work on. So again, going back to the very beginning, like training your nervous system, the unconscious incompetence, I'm gonna have to go through that process, and there's probably gonna be some hard moments that I'm gonna have to go through as a part of that.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to face some of those demons. And that means maybe, coming home after that night and crying, or maybe the next day when I wake up and I'm like reflecting on everything, like, wow, that was really hard. And my nervous system is just so pent up. And then I have to release. Mm-hmm. Some of the ways we release, like crying is one of them. What are some other good ways that you release nervous system tension?
Physical activity, I think, is a good one that's used a lot.
Dancing, bro. Dancing is so fire.
So fire. That's funny. Or through like a massage, something like that, I think is good. And I think it's very
stretching.
Yeah, very mainstream though, as well as like that's how you release tension. But for me, I've really dove into nervous system training, right? And what does that mean for me? My goal is to be able to let go of the tension in real time, right? Like you get a harsh rejection, you feel tension in your body for sure. I do. And what do I do to quickly let go of that tension and return to being in a good state is about body awareness. And so I've talked to you about this process of welcoming. As you feel tension, if you truly welcome it and truly accept it into your body and just allow it to be there, your body will naturally process it on its own and let it go. We get stuck when we start resisting the tension or resisting the pent up energy, the nervousness. The more that you resist it, the more that it actually embeds in your nervous system. So the best thing that you can do is actually feel it as fully as you possibly can and allow your body to naturally release it at its own pace. That's hard to do because it's tempting to try and numb it or drain it or push it down, but you're not processing it. You need to feel it to heal it. So if you can learn to feel that nervousness, that tension, I want to make sure to differentiate which tension I'm talking about. So when you can feel that clenching in your body in real time, you can say, I welcome this tension here and I allow it to be here. I allow it to teach me whatever lesson it needs to teach me. It will let go on its own. And I think that's the best way to do it, because that is the best form of nervous system training in my mind, is in time processing of your clenching and letting it go.
Mm-hmm. This kind of thought just came to my head. In a lot of ways, is resistance kind of like trying to deal with what's happening in your head rather than allowing it to happen in your body.
Exactly.
Right? Because you're trying to think it away, you're trying to rationalize it away.
That's exactly right. Yeah, when you can't handle it, when you don't have this nervous system strength, because sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't let go of it right in the moment. You have to just deal with it. And the way that your body does that is it starts trying to, exactly what you said, it starts trying to rationalize it because it pulls you out of your body into your mind. And so you stop feeling it so intensely. But then you get stuck. I mean, we've all been there.
Well, not me. I live there.
Well, for the normal people, you know, a very common problem is that they're like, I get stuck in this cycle of worrying. And you're stuck in that cycle of worrying because you're not feeling. You're not allowing yourself to process. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot to process. You can't process it all at once.
Dude, we've been on this for months, years.
Exactly.
This is everything, but what else are you going to do?
I agree.
You know, like, why not spend your life getting yourself to be exactly what you want to be?
Yeah. It's funny that you and I both look at it that way. Like, what else would I be doing? But I think the majority of the rest of the world just numbs out, won't even walk in the direction of starting to look at what's going on inside.
Yeah. I literally burned my whole entire life to the ground to go do this. Right? I was working on it before, obviously. But when I realized that I was about to enter into a scenario where I wasn't going to be able to work on it to the fullest of my ability, I literally not walked away only from that particular situation. I walked away from everything in my life.
Right.
Everything to go pursue this fully so I could put every single moment, an ounce of energy that I have into this process. And it feels so good. I mean, it's, let me clarify that. It has been horrifically difficult, but on a deep core level, on a deep core identity level, it feels incredible, right? So I can even look at all these hard moments that I've been through over the past 6 months with so much fondness and nostalgia already. We're like, oh man, remember when I was crying over that? That was so cute.
That was last week. No.
Yeah, that was, Brad, that was yesterday. But was it yesterday? It was 2 days ago. Friday morning, I woke up. We had a long night out. We stayed out till like 2 a.m. I woke up the next day and there was something in me. There's something in my nervous system that was like, oh my God, like that was so hard. I went through so much last night. And I did have to release, and I cried, actually like one of the most intense cries I've had yet since I moved here. But it was so valuable because I learned in that moment, I learned something so profound, like life-changing profound, because I was just questioning, as glorious as I say what I'm doing is and how much I love it and how aligned I am with it, I still question it all the time. And I was crying, and I was latching onto this idea of like, why me? Why do I do this? Why am I like this? Why can't I just be like everyone else and just accept the life that was given to me? And my life was not bad. I was given a great life. Why am I like this? And I thought, because my whole life, I thought that the reason I was like this is because I was on some level like broken, or I don't love myself, or I don't care about myself. Was I just sabotaging a good life, right? Do I hate myself? But I came to this profound realization in the moment, kind of like I was just saying earlier. It's like, I do this because the reason I'm like this is because I love it. I love this shit. I live for this shit. And on a deeper level than that, I do this because I love myself. And that was such a profound shift to take place in my mind, because I always thought that I was doing this because I didn't like myself. I need to improve because I don't like myself. I'm in pain, so I need to make myself better because I'm not good enough. But really, this literally happened 2 days ago, 36 years I've been here. I made this shift where I figured out, oh my God, I do this because I love myself.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is what it's about. Those moments that you experience, that deep introspection, these deep, profound lessons you learn about life, that's what this is all about. This whole, like, what else are you going to do, right? These are the kinds of things that I want to experience. These are the kinds of lessons that I want to learn, the kind of growth that I want to experience. I want to achieve full self-actualization.
Yep.
And maybe that is why I left everything else, because I had I had everything else taken care of. My physical needs taken care of, my financial needs taken care of. Like I had everything taken care of in my life except this like self-actualization. And it made me feel almost fake. It made me feel inauthentic when what I really wanted was to be free, fully free, to be completely aligned with my authenticity and who I am. I want just my very existence, my very presence to be like everything.
Yeah.
I don't want external things. I want just this internal. Everything I want in life just flows out of who I am, not what I do, but who I am. And that's how you become magnetic. That's how you draw all the things that you want for yourself into your life.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about for me.
Yeah. I love that. That was amazing. Thank you. That was fire. I really appreciate the vulnerability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, right, I'm talking about how great this is, but like, guys, if you were there,
It was tough.
it was hard. It was hard. I couldn't breathe. I was crying so hard. And then at the end of that tunnel, once I faced that demon, right, I had to look that demon in the eyes. Guys, think of it like this, right? My whole life, I refused to look that demon in the face because I thought that demon was that I hated myself. And when I finally looked at it, I realized, oh, I don't hate myself. I actually love myself.
Yeah.
It took me that long to get there,
Yeah.
to actually work up the courage to look at it in the face. So when you face your demons, it's not always like a bad thing. It'll be hard, the nervous system aspect and everything, but the lessons you learn, right? So now I can integrate that part of myself that is always wanting to grow, is always wanting to learn, is always wanting to get better.
Right.
I can integrate that into myself better now because I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing about me.
Right. Yeah. It's probably helped you to get everything you have now, right? Like because you are always continually improving and looking for the next step that's made you to be the man that you are today, right here.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's good. That goes back to, what we were talking about before, that this process for us is a vehicle for personal transformation.
100%.
This just happens to be the thing that is taking us towards our most actualized versions of ourselves. I just wanted to say that you're saying that all of your needs were fulfilled, your safety needs, your need for connection, but your self-actualization was not fulfilled, right? And so you chose this as the vehicle to get you to that self-actualization.
Yeah, so I chose hardship. Isn't that funny?
It's funny until you do it and you're like, I see exactly that this was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
This is what I needed. Yeah. I had a profound experience this morning. For most of my life, I felt like not enough.
Don't you love how our lives are just a nonstop series of profound experiences?
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, and that's, again, going right back to what we were talking about, the beauty of like this journey. That's what this journey does for you. It just unlocks day after day, profound realization after profound realization.
Yeah. And like you said, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the process so much. And I'm just going to keep walking down it because that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I had the experience of feeling like, actually, I feel like I'm enough right now. Even though I haven't achieved all my goals, I still feel like I'm enough right now, which is such a drastic contrast to how the majority of my life has been. And it's all as a result of the process, right? I always used to think that it was a disadvantage to me that I didn't grow up particularly confident. But now I see that was a gift, right? Because it gave me the time and the space to really figure out what does it mean to be confident and to walk down the path of self-actualization that I wouldn't have gone on if I didn't feel that I was in that place before. And so it actually is a perfect coincidence that I felt that I was lacking then, and the path that I've gone on now that I've been able to improve on it. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, and I'm happy that we've been able to share some of our story.
Yeah, well, now that my camera is out of battery,
and Brad's,
how about you wrap us up?
Yeah, that's the episode today. We got into a lot of good stuff about purpose and our journey and self-actualizing. Maybe someday I'll learn how to say that correctly.
Game as a journey of inner healing and personal transformation, I think is the main theme of today's episode.
Yep. But yeah, that's it for today's episode, and we'll catch you guys next time.
All right, guys.
Go talk to some girls.
Yeah, go talk to some girls.
Love it.